Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
Southern California continues to feel the damaging effects of fires. We have an update on the fires currently active in the state and how crews are progressing.
Plus, the recent changes in our weather have created some unhealthy air all across the county. We'll tell you about the dangers you need to be aware of as you head out the door and how to protect yourself.
And today's the day many have been looking forward to, what local law enforcement's doing to keep children and parents safe when they trick or treat tonight. Good morning and thanks for joining us for 23 ABC News at 6 a.m. on this Thursday. I'm Danielle Kernkamp.
I'm Mike Hart. Glad you're here. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk and get a look outside as when we say the winds have died down, man, you're not kidding.
Ooh, from yesterday it was about 35 miles an hour at this hour to now 3. Woo. Thank goodness for that.
Yes.
Oh, yesterday was awful.
Yeah.
So as we're dying down here in the valley, we actually had relatively warm pockets of air overnight. So with that, we are still dangerously dry and cool and quiet later today for our local mountains. But you see that fire threat, it's critical to our south, still quite elevated for Fraser Park. So our red flag warning has expired here in our local mountains, but you see just to the south, it's still in effect. Keep that in mind. If you're traveling south on the Grapevine, they still have those bad fires. They still have a fire risk today and the blustery winds, but here at home, so much better than yesterday. And look at the hard freeze warning in effect for our desert locations. You can see why they're in the 20s this morning. But here in Bakersfield, 52. Look at that pocket of green. That's that quote unquote dry air and warm air that filled in. Just up the road, McFarland, Delano, 33. So Valley did fall to the 30s this morning as expected, but Bakersfield did not. I'm not hearing many complaints about it as you head out the door. Air quality is still terrible, but the blowing dust is settling as we get to the 70s this afternoon. That means for our trick-or-treaters tonight, the sun sets at 6:02 p.m., so it's dark by 6:30, and you have the 60s in that hour. Low 60s at 7 p.m. fall to the 50s. Right after that, we're down to 57 by 8 p.m. as you're heading back home. Okay. As for our roadways, good to go out there watching a couple crashes, but no slowing.
All right, getting back to those strong Santa Ana winds that ran through the area of Southern California, causing several new wildfires within just a few hours yesterday. The Easy Fire began in Simi Valley yesterday morning. Currently, it's only 5% contained, and it's burned close to 1,500 acres. Massive flames jumped the freeway there. Ventura County fires say 6,500 homes were in danger, one structure destroyed, 30,000 people under mandatory evacuation orders as of last night. More than 1,000 firefighters are currently working to battle those flames on the ground and assisted by aerial water and retardant drops.
And firefighters have been able to gain some control over the Getty fire, which started early Monday morning. Crews have worked to contain wind-driven hotspots and flare-ups with the area. The extreme fire weather threat has posed an extra challenge for first responders. However, with the Santa Ana winds calming down, evacuation orders have been lifted for residents. That blaze currently stands at 39% containment. A total of 745 acres burned. And fire crews are still working to control other fires affecting Southern California. The Kincaid fire in Northern California, 45% contained. It's burned more than 76,000 acres. The Tick fire in Santa Clarita is almost fully contained at 98%. More than 4,000 acres burned there. And finally, the Saddle Ridge fire, which began a few weeks ago, is 97% contained. That one burned close to 9,000 acres.
And take a look at this. This is the Grade fire. It was on Weller Road in Justin Way. Kern County Fire posted this to their Twitter account, but just hours later, thankfully, they did post this update. It was just before 10 o'clock. They said that that Grade fire was at 100% containment. It ended up growing to 98 acres.
Well, during these dry and windy conditions, health officials say protecting your lungs is especially important with the risk of valley fever here in Kern County. Valley fever has been an ongoing battle with a record number of cases reported just last year. Health officials say protecting yourself with masks and knowing the warning signs of an infection can save you a trip to the doctor. In these conditions, protecting your lungs can be one of the most important tasks you do throughout the day. Royce Johnson, the medical director of the Valley Fever Institute, says the number of people diagnosed with valley fever is on the rise over the last 5 years. There were nearly 3,000 people diagnosed last year, the highest since 2006. With many dangerous particles in the air, the use of a mask can really help you out.
It's an industrial mask that we use in healthcare for airborne precautions. As you can see, it has NIOSH N95 on the bottom, and that tells you that it tells you the pore size. And this mask has a pore size small enough that it excludes valley fever very easily.
For more information about all this, you can go to our website. We have links to the Valley Fever Institute where you can read more about it.
Well, it is Halloween, and we've all done it. We've all indulged in our favorite Halloween candy for the past couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever. It doesn't matter.
If you're looking to get ahead of the game this holiday season to help burn some of that off, 23 ABC's Amani Stevens joining us live with a step-by-step demonstration on what you must do. Amani?
Good morning, Mike. I think I should treat myself to this Milky Way. And if you do treat yourself to a miniature Milky Way, there's some workouts that you can do that help burn your favorite candy calories. So I'm here with Carissa, and she's going to show us how to use these TRX straps.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we're going to do first is a chest press.
Chest press.
So we're going to stand nice and proud. You're going to step back. And then what we're going to do is keep your core nice and tight, and we're going to press up all the way. And then come back down nice and slow.
Okay.
And you should feel that chest start to burn.
I feel it
working.
I feel the Milky Way.
Working? Okay, good. One more. Good, okay.
And you said like a miniature Milky Way is about 80 calories.
Yeah, it's about 85 calories. So if you do the TRX straps for about 8 to 10 minutes, you're definitely going to burn that 85 calories.
Okay, yeah. And what is one more other thing
So
we can
another
use with
one
straps?
that's really fun is the TRX back row. Okay. So we're going to stand up nice and tall, squeeze your shoulder blades together.
Okay,
and we're going to move forward. And then you're going to come all the way back. All the way back. And then row up and squeeze your back.
Okay, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I've been warmed up.
But if you go deeper, right, the further that you go in, the harder it's going to get. All the way back.
Oh, no.
And then in. Perfect. Good job.
And what can you do at home if you don't have this?
So if you don't have the TRX straps, one thing that you can do is a regular push-up.
Okay.
So if you're struggling to maybe do push-ups on the ground, doing push-ups against a countertop would be a perfect supplement to that.
Okay. And for the candy to workout equivalents, what is it measured on?
So it's measured on the calories that you're eating. So let's say if you're ingesting or eating about 85 calories, you're going to want to burn roughly 85 calories. So make sure that's not turning into fat.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what are some other workouts that we could do? I know you said stretching. I love to stretch.
So after your workout, right, after you do the TRX, it's really important to stretch afterward.
Okay.
So one really good stretch is across the chest. There you go. It's going to stretch the back of the arm. Very good. And then we'll switch.
Okay. Yeah, this is a lot better.
Oh, doesn't it feel good?
Yeah, I'm not sweating. I'm not out of breath. So you just do these easy stretches.
Yeah, hold it for about 15 seconds on each side and then switch, and then you can do another one. So another good one for your chest, since we just worked out our chest.
Okay.
You're gonna bring your arms together and just pull your chest up and then squeeze. You should feel that nice good stretch on the chest. And then hold it for about 15 seconds and then just relax. Maybe do some trunk twists.
Okay.
Get that core open.
Wow.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah, I feel the burn.
Especially in the morning.
Feel the burn. I'm burning all the Halloween candy that I've been treating myself at work. But we have all the information on the workouts to candy on our website, turner23.com. Live in Northwest Bakersfield, I'm Imani Stevens, 23 ABC, connecting you.
Thanks, Imani. Over the last 2 decades, the California Department of Corrections has committed to keeping the streets of Kern County a safe one, especially on Halloween. Tonight, special GPS units and parole agents partnered with local law enforcement will conduct Operation Boo. This operation will include compliance checks on known sex offenders to make sure they're staying away from trick-or-treaters. In addition to those checks, the CDCR says they'll also have a special transient sex offender curfew center set up as well. According to the CDCR, sex offenders have special conditions to follow for this night. A curfew is in place and they must remain indoors. All exterior lights of their home must be turned off, and parolees can only open the door to law enforcement.
Well, it has been a Halloween tradition here in Bakersfield for years, giving families a place to celebrate the holiday safely. So it's called Safe Halloween. See how it works? Yeah, started last night at the Kern County Museum and will run tonight. It features more than 50 different candies. I love that outfit. 50 different candy stations for kids to stop by. Tickets are $10 for each child, $5 for the parents to come in and walk along with them. I love the T-Rex as well. Safe Halloween continues tonight beginning at 5 o'clock, runs till 9 at the Kern County Museum located on Chester Avenue. And Assemblyman Rudy Salas also partnering up with community groups, hosting that trunk or treat events. He's been doing it all week. He'll be at the Sunset School in Bakersfield tonight for another Halloween celebration. Starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon, runs till 7:30. The Sunset School located at 8301 Sunset Boulevard.
Meanwhile, Bakersfield Police is getting in on the Halloween spirit by holding an event this afternoon. It's the second annual Halloween at BPD.
Yeah.
The event will take place at police headquarters, and it's free to attend. Children under 12 in costumes will be escorted around the building for trick-or-treating from various BPD personnel. It's happening from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at BPD headquarters off Truxtun Avenue. For a list of events happening this week, you can visit our website, turnto23.com.
While Halloween is an enjoyable time for most people, there are others who struggle with the constant noise and disruption at their door. So the Alzheimer's Foundation of America wants to offer you a few safety tips for families and caregivers to protect their loved ones who are living with Alzheimer's or dementia-related illnesses. Now, the AFA says you don't leave your loved one alone to give out candy. Constantly having strangers come up, knock on the door can be frightening, maybe a little confusing. So keep the lights on in your home. Don't let trick-or-treaters come inside. Help your person to relax. Of course, Halloween's full of distractions and stimulus, some of which can be upsetting or even frightening. And avoid exposure, I do this, to those interactive decorations. The ones that jump out at you, that start just kind of talking out of nowhere. Yeah, don't like those.
No.
Not a fan.
The meanest one I ever encountered,
Yeah?
my aunt had a candy bowl that tattled on you when you took a candy. Oh, not only
I've
did
seen
it
those.
scare me
How
as
about
a
the hand that
6-year-old.
comes down and smacks
That's
you
what
as
it
you
was.
reach
It would
in?
go,
Yeah.
and then everybody knew that you stole a candy, and you were like, oh.
Dang
I was
it.
scared and ashamed. All right, so
Oh, wow.
it was very
Way
deep
too much.
as a 6-year-old. All right, so that haze continues out there. The winds have died way down, but we still have some settling dust, some blowing wildfire smoke from the fires on either side of Kern County, and the lingering pollution. So air quality alert still in effect. Health caution just means you want to take it easy out there. If you have sensitive lungs, your kids have asthma, make sure that you have your inhalers and that you're taking it easy trick-or-treating, but you can go out. The dust is settling down, especially over the next 12 hours. The desert hard freeze warning still in effect this morning. You have the 20s to wake up to. Later this afternoon, we have 70s. So in the valley for trick-or-treating, it means 60s this evening. Kern River Valley sees 50s. South Mountains, it's 40s for Tehachapi and Fraser Park. Cold, but that's seasonal, and the winds have died down. So see how you're in the 30s, even some 20s up in those mountains. There's all the 20s for the hard freeze in the desert. Here in Bakersfield, though, 52, because you see that pocket of dry, relatively warm air left over from yesterday's winds, whereas further out, it's close to freezing as expected for Delano and McFarland. Fascinating this morning. Later today, calm, quiet, sunny, seasonal. We like that, low 70s out there. And down into Fraser Park, they're at 59 today. They still have that critical fire weather, especially just to the south. Santa Ana's continuing for the Southland, not as bad as yesterday. 59 in Tehachapi to 68 Isabella. After 20s this morning, they're seeing 60s in the desert later. And then you were talking about Halloween. If you are heading out to the BPD, you'll have that 71 at 4 p.m., low 60s by 6:30 as they're wrapping up.